She only came to the park for 10 quiet minutes. 10 minutes away from boardrooms, contracts, and the endless pressure of being a CEO. But when the silent boy beside her suddenly smiled at a stranger's daughter, and a single father said just 3 simple words that changed everything, the powerful woman realized that success had never been the thing her son needed most. What happened next would change all 3 of their lives forever. The afternoon sun hung gently over the quiet city park, casting warm golden light over the swings and walking paths. Isabella Carter sat stiffly on a wooden bench, her expensive black coat looking strangely out of place among the laughing children and relaxed parents around her. People in the business world knew Isabella as the unstoppable CEO of Carter Innovations. A woman who had built a billion-dollar company with sharp decisions and relentless discipline. But the woman sitting in the park that day looked nothing like the confident leader people admired. Her shoulders were tired. Beside her sat her 6-year-old son, Noah. Noah didn't speak. Not because he couldn't physically, but because he simply didn't. Doctors had given it different names over the years: selective mutism, trauma-based silence, emotional withdrawal. Therapists came and went. Expensive programs promised breakthroughs. But Noah remained quiet. He watched the world carefully with large thoughtful eyes, clutching a small toy train in his hands. Isabella had tried everything money could buy. But she couldn't buy her son's voice. And that terrified her. Across the park, children laughed loudly as they chased each other around a playground. Noah watched them but made no move to join. Isabella sighed quietly. "I know you don't like crowds," she murmured softly, though she knew he wouldn't answer. "But maybe watching them helps." Noah simply looked down at his train again. Minutes passed. Then suddenly a little girl ran across the grass chasing a bright red balloon. She couldn't have been older than 5. Her curly hair bounced as she ran, giggling loudly. "Daddy! It's flying away." A tall man jogged behind her, laughing. "Then you better run faster, Lily." The girl finally caught the balloon and spun around proudly. "I did it." The man clapped dramatically. "World champion balloon catcher." Noah looked up. For the first time that afternoon, something in his expression changed. The man noticed. He was dressed simply in jeans and a worn brown jacket. There was a calm warmth about him that made people feel comfortable without even knowing why. He walked closer, holding his daughter's hand. Lily noticed Noah immediately. "Hi," she said brightly, standing in front of him. "Do you want to see my balloon?" Noah froze slightly. Isabella straightened instantly, prepared to intervene if things became uncomfortable. But Lily didn't seem bothered by Noah's silence at all. She simply sat down on the grass beside him. "My name is Lily," she said proudly. "What's yours?" Noah stared at her quietly. Isabella opened her mouth to explain. "He doesn't." But the man gently raised a hand. "Give him a moment," he said kindly. His voice was calm and patient. Isabella studied him carefully. Most adults became awkward around Noah after a few seconds. They forced conversation or became uncomfortable with the silence. This man simply sat down across from them. "I'm Daniel," he said casually. "Lily's dad." Isabella nodded slightly. "Isabella." Lily continued talking happily to Noah like silence wasn't even a thing. "This balloon is special," she said. "Daddy won it for me because I beat him in a race." Daniel chuckled. "You cheated." "I did not." Slowly, something incredible happened. Noah smiled. A small, shy smile, but it was real. Isabella's breath caught. It had been weeks since she'd seen that expression. Lily gasped dramatically. "He smiled. Daddy, he smiled." Daniel nodded calmly. "Of course he did." He leaned slightly toward Noah and said something simple. "You can take your time." Isabella blinked. What do you mean? She asked quietly. Daniel shrugged. Kids talk when they feel safe, he said. Not when they're pressured. Isabella felt something tighten in her chest. Every therapist had pushed Noah to speak. Repeat words. Practice sentences. Try exercises. But this man was doing nothing. And somehow, it was working. Lily held the balloon string out toward Noah. You can hold it. Noah hesitated, then gently took the string. For the next 20 minutes, something magical happened. Lily talked endlessly. Daniel occasionally joked or laughed. And Noah stayed. He didn't speak. But he didn't retreat either. He watched them. Smiled sometimes. Even played a small game rolling Lily's ball back and forth. Isabella watched in disbelief. Then finally she asked Daniel quietly, "How did you do that?" Daniel looked confused. Do what? My son hasn't interacted with anyone like this in months. Daniel thought for a moment. Then he smiled softly. I didn't try to fix him, he said. Isabella felt her throat tighten. For years, Daniel continued gently, people tried to fix my daughter too. Isabella frowned. What was wrong with her? Daniel looked at Lily, who was now proudly showing Noah how high the balloon could fly. Nothing, he said. Exactly. Isabella realized something uncomfortable in that moment. Maybe Noah didn't need fixing. Maybe he just needed understanding. But what she didn't realize yet was that this small moment in the park was only the beginning of something that would completely change her life. Chapter 2. The next afternoon, Isabella returned to the park. She told herself it was only for Noah. But deep down, she knew the truth. She was hoping Daniel and Lily would be there. Noah sat beside her again, holding his toy train quietly. For a moment Isabella wondered if yesterday had simply been luck. But then Lily's excited voice echoed across the grass. Noah! The little girl ran toward them like they were old friends. Daniel followed behind, smiling. Well, look at that, he said warmly. Our park buddy came back. Something inside Isabella softened. Over the next few days, a quiet routine formed. They met at the park after school and work. Lily talked endlessly. Daniel joked gently. And Noah slowly began to open in small ways. One afternoon, Lily tripped while running and scraped her knee. She tried to be brave but tears welled in her eyes. Before Isabella or Daniel could react, Noah stood up. He walked over and offered his toy train. Lily sniffled. For me? Noah nodded. Daniel and Isabella exchanged stunned looks. That night Isabella cried quietly in her car. Not from sadness, but relief. Weeks passed. Then one evening as the sun dipped below the trees, Noah and Lily were drawing in the dirt with sticks. Daniel sat beside Isabella on the bench. You look less stressed lately, he observed. She laughed softly. That's because my son finally looks happy. Daniel nodded. He's a great kid. Isabella hesitated before asking something personal. Your wife, does she ever come to the park? Daniel's expression softened. She passed away 2 years ago. Isabella immediately felt awful. I'm sorry. Daniel shrugged gently. It was hard. But Lily keeps me strong. They sat quietly for a moment. Then suddenly Lily shouted excitedly. Daddy! Noah said something. Isabella's heart nearly stopped. What? Lily grinned proudly. He said. Thank you. Isabella turned slowly. Noah looked nervous but proud. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. She walked toward him slowly. Did you say thank you? She asked softly. Noah nodded. Then he whispered again. Thank you. But this time he wasn't looking at Lily. He was looking at Daniel. Daniel simply smiled. No rush, buddy. Isabella felt her entire world shift in that moment. Months of therapy. Years of worry. And the breakthrough came from something so simple, patience. Later that evening, as the sky turned orange, Isabella spoke quietly. You changed my son's life. Daniel shook his head. No, he said gently. You did. You just needed someone to remind you how to slow down. She looked at him thoughtfully. For someone who claims he didn't fix anything, you changed everything. Daniel chuckled. Maybe we just helped each other. Over the next months their lives slowly intertwined. Park visits became dinners. Dinners became laughter. Lily and Noah became inseparable. And one evening, as the four of them walked through the park again, Noah suddenly spoke clearly. Mom, can Daniel come tomorrow? Isabella froze. Her son had just spoken a full sentence. She knelt beside him, tears in her eyes. Of course he can. Daniel looked just as shocked. Noah smiled shyly. Because sometimes love doesn't arrive in dramatic moments. Sometimes it arrives quietly, on a park bench, through patience, kindness, and a single dad who understood that the most powerful thing you can give a child is time. And Isabella Carter, the powerful CEO who once believed success was measured in money and power, finally understood the truth. The greatest success in life is building a family that helps each other heal.